Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. Well, I'm gonna go back in time and got a new plane obviously, but we're gonna go back in time to the Fat Guy Flies RC before I actually started the channel, before I actually started recording my flights. And someone said, hey, why don't you put them on YouTube? Some people might like them and actually make some money at it. And I'm like, well, who's gonna watch me? And at the time I was way over 300 pounds. And I said, well, who's going to want to watch a fat guy flying his little remote control planes? He said, you'd be surprised, but it might work. And I said, what am I going to call it? Fat guy with a plane or a fat guy flies RC? He said, hey, that's catchy. That's how Fat Guy Flies RC got started. And 130 or 120 some odd pounds later, here I am. But this is one of the very first planes I got. I want to say this is my fourth plane I ever bought. Me and my wife were on vacation. This is 10, 12 years ago, maybe longer. And we rented a cabin on our way up into South Carolina, North Carolina. We rented a cabin and we went through a little town called Loganville, right outside of Atlanta on our way. And I said, there's a hobby shop here I've always wanted to go to. And she's like, oh, great, because she already knew what was coming. And it was Grayson Hobby. And so we found it. We went in there and they had this Tiger Moth. Well, I wanted it. And it was in a different shaped box. This is more of a triangular box. It was in a big flat box at the time. And I bought it, and that thing traveled with us all the way around to all the different places we went to, the cabin and everything, and I brought it back. Well, anyways, that's the history. I had the Tiger Moth, flew the dog mess out of it, finally figured out how to land it because she's going to want to tip over on you. And then I ended up selling it because she's a big plane and she took up a lot of room and everything was in our bedroom. And so I ended up selling it. Well, I never really flew it that well. I never really didn't think I flew it that well, but I enjoyed it. And now, since my skills are better, I decided I wanted it back. It's a great plane. I've been missing and trying to find a Tiger Moth that's not a great big wood model. Trying to find it in foam is almost impossible unless you want something really, really, really small. Well, I want a good sized plane that I can see, so I'm like, well, I'm going to buy that Dynam. Well, I contacted Anthony at FPVs, and he said, you want to review one? I sell them. I'll give you a nice discount on one for a reviewer discount. I said, hook me up, and here we are. So this is the Dynam Tiger Moth. Let's take it out of the box, see what's in the box. Now it says it's ready to fly right out of the box. I don't think he sent me the ready to fly one. I didn't want the ready to fly one because that'd just be a waste of time and money. Hopefully it's the plug and play. But he's been in this because anytime you got these yellow tape from FPV, that means he's opened it up and checked things out. That's the telltale sign of Anthony. He don't just get the box in the mail and then put them on the shelf and sell them without ever looking at them. He opens everything up and makes sure that everything is right. All right, now typical Dynam. This is not they haven't updated this one. It's still the original version that they always had. Not a version 1. It has a 30.5 by 15. Actually, I'm sorry. It's a 12 by 6, big old prop. Got all your multiple screws and everything for the wing wires, glue, some tools. All your struts and your decals. Part of the landing gear there. Wheels. Windshield. Prop adapter, huh? I guess that's why they didn't want to put it inside. It would flop around. All your wires that go on the wing, they're all labeled, so you shouldn't mess it up. But if I remember, that's a very tedious part to this plane. Okay, and of course you got your big old decal sheet. These are just simple decals. Okay. Anthony has, he went. Let's show you what I did. He picked this up. He picked this section up and put these bubble things in there to rest for this fuselage to rest upon. That's not Dynam. That's Anthony at FPV's doing that. This yellow tape, that's him doing that. Okay? So that's just a nice touch. Cause you got to remember, with Anthony, these Dynam planes, he doesn't just farm them out from Dynam and then he sells them for Dynam. No, he owns them. He buys them all. And I would hope they give him some sort of discount, because he'll buy them all and then he sells them to you. And that way he has complete ownership of them. That way if there's a problem, then he can dictate a little bit better, because it's his plane. At least he told me that. And I believe him. I don't have any reason to doubt him. He shared that kind of stuff with me when I first started working with him. He goes, yeah, he owns these things. Uh-oh. Got a big old crack right there. And this used to be hard plastic. Now it's soft. But I can fix that. That's just a glue, and I'll fix that. So, all right. This should be the, yep, inside there. Already got Velcro there. Okay. This is more than likely going to be the tail feathers. And I'm correct. Make sure there's nothing else in these little boxes. Okay. All right. Now, I don't remember if this was this way last time, but the rudder has the tail wheel already attached to it. I just don't remember if that's the way that was before. Okay. Oh, there you go. Now it's got a foam hinge, so definitely a Dynam. So you're going to want to put that hold the foam treatment or Blenderm tape to reinforce that hinge. You got your elevator. Remember, you got to work that hinge, just a foam hinge. Okay, it's got that tiller arm. Got carbon fiber reinforcement keeping its shape, so it's nice and straight. Those two are just going to fit together just like that, and then glue in place. Yeah, real easy peasy. Okay, got the instructions, the one page of instructions that they give you. And your information about the ESC. And this, of course, should be the wings. Maybe, if I can get everything out of the box. Without flashing this blade around and cutting myself. All right. Like I say, this whole thing is wings, so it's a fairly good size model. I'm going to say, let's open it from this end here. Yeah. Oh, look at this. He's even taped these together where they won't smash around. This is the bottom wing, because it has the Aileron controls. I've got even a piece of... Okay. Like some extra sandwiching there. Very nice. Now, typical Dynam, all the control servos are already hooked up. Control arms are already installed, which that's a new thing they've been doing lately. You got two ailerons, you're going to hook up a Y But these are pretty good sized control surfaces, but that's all you've got for a wing, okay? You can see the shape of the wing, okay? That's the bottom wing. So the spar is internal, and it looks like it has three spars. It's got one down the middle, and it's got the spars embedded all the way down either side, okay? Then of course we got the top wing, and it's in its own little baggie. And it has the same spar embedded in the foam, so you don't have to worry about the spar as far as inserting a spar. And this wing has no control surfaces. This is just strictly for airfoil, strictly to just keep you in the air, okay? Looks like the wing, well, no, it looks like, no, it's fine. I thought maybe it looked a little warped, but it's fine. So, now I can see the spar through the wing. All right, so you can see that's a fairly good sized model. All righty. Let me get all my debris together, and we'll come back and go over these parts. I'm stuck back here, all this debris. All righty, we're back. I got all the parts out, and like I said, this is the fuselage, and this is kind of a real flimsy plastic sort of a skin, easily manipulative, and that's fine. It's got a little crack in it. That's unfortunate, but I can glue that, and that's just from dry rot. Who knows how many years it's been sitting in a box. But yeah, I'll have to. I don't know how I'm going to fix it. I'll just have to put some clear tape over it, I guess, or I don't know. But that's okay. I mean, that's not a deal breaker there. You're going to put this entire plane together using a Phillips head screwdriver, okay? You're going to need a little pair of pliers like that, and then you've got all these different screws. Now, you're going to have to put your control surface control horns in your elevator and your rudder, but other than that, it's already on the aileron. Let's look inside the fuselage, okay? If you look, you've got these hard points where the wing, I don't know if they're called cavanes or not cavanes, but struts are going to hook into with hard backing plates. That's what's going to help hold on that front wing. All right, same thing with here. This is part of the landing gear. Now it's got a hard point behind it, okay? The wing, like I said, is this typical Dynam foam. It's very lightweight, very strong, but as it feels very, very dry, okay? And this is let me move my aileron here. This is a pinch hinge, so I highly, highly suggest, see, it doesn't even go to the end, see? It's just a pinch hinge. So I highly, highly suggest that you reinforce it on the underside here. Push okay? And then put like the hold the foam glue, which is a flexible glue that dries flexible, or Blenderm tape, or whatever you wish to do to reinforce that hinge, okay? Top wing, nothing special. It just has the hard points underneath where the wings are going to connect, but no control surface there, okay? This is not a rocket ship plane. This is a very slow plane, okay? But scale flying plane. But let's go over something else that Anthony gave me. This is something he has designed and made in his 3D printing world, or he farmed it out, is these plane stands. This is one of his plane accessories. He sent this to me. You see, it's got the FPV Builds logo right on there. And just a simple little box. He had the yellow tape of his, 2 metal rods, and you slide each in, and you've got a nice little foam cradle. Now, understand, this is one thing I told him about. You need to add a little bit of foam on top, because if your plane is sitting in here, these are kind of sharp. So I'd put a little piece of foam or something, glue that on top of that just to protect the top of the wing. Like this kind of stuff here, this kind of material here, this is just pipe insulation that you buy at a hardware store. It's already split. Cut you a little piece of that and just put it right on the very end there and hot glue that on there. Just cut it to fit, and that'll help protect your wing servo. He's already got a nice little cushion there. So we're going to be using this plane stand. So thank you, Anthony. All right, well, that's the unboxing of the Dynam Tiger Moth. We'll come back here. I'm going to go ahead and put the plane together because with these wires, this is going to take a couple hours to do this one. I don't think you'll sit and watch me do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the plane together, and then I will add to the end of this unboxing video a kind of a build overview. Everything that I went through, the steps that I took, what I did, I'll show you up close, and then I'll show you how to run them wires, okay? And then if anything that to look out for when putting this plane together. This is a Dynam plane. This one takes a long time, and I really don't want to have, you know, split up 6 videos into different segments. And so instead, I'm just going to do a build overview, and I'm going to attach to the end of this unboxing. All right, folks. Well, thank you for watching. We'll be right back with the build overview, and then we'll get you a wrap up. All right. Well, hey, folks. Fat Guy Flies RC. All right. Well, this is the post-build wrap up. I did the unboxing and told you I was going to go ahead and put it together. This, like a lot of the original Dynams, this is one of the version 1. This one has not been updated to a version 2, version 9, version 300. It's the original Tiger Moth, okay? And basically, so it's the same Dynam, the old Dynam, and that's fine because this was a great plane. You do have to hook up your tail feathers, your elevator control rods, okay? Yeah, I mean, you have to hook up you have to physically put in, let me get an angle you can see it, sorry. You have to physically screw in these, the elevator control surface, or the elevator, the rudder's control arm, the elevator's control arm. You have to hook those up, put the screws in, screw them in through the backing plate, but they lined up just perfectly. The, you know, maybe this is a version 2. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but it reminded me so much of the original. The ailerons were already hooked up. You have to screw on, slide the wheels on. You got these locking, little Allen wrench they give you to do that grub screw, slide your wheel on, put the little collar back on there, screw it back on, tighten it back up. I repaired my little break in the canopy here, put some tape over it, gave her a clear coat. Now you can't really see it. Kind of actually adds some, look kind of dented, actually adds some character to it. I obviously gave her a clear coat, looks really good. Put all the decals on first, and then gave her the clear coat. Just simple 4-channel plane. Be very careful. You see that those back, see how that elevator looks like it's kind of warped a little bit? You may have to, this particular elevator strut here was a little bit longer, and it's the right one, so it kind of pushed up. When I secured everything, it kind of pushed up on the elevator, but I don't think it's going to really affect how it flies. Like I said, this is a very slow flying plane anyways. Also, like I said, I gave up on the wires because there's little springs that have to be attached. Well, they didn't provide me with enough springs. You need 4 springs. There was 3 springs, and I didn't have a spring to use. My spring was sprung. So, and I started and I hooked everything up. You have to put screws in the very tops here, on here, and here. Put a screw in, a little nut, and then individually tighten it all up using a screwdriver and a needle nose to screw those in. Very tedious. And before you do that, you have to hook these wires up and run the wires, and they're numbered and they're pressure. And trying to hold that and it's pulling on you and hold a little nut. You need an extra pair. You need 2 people to put this together, really, to do those wires correctly. And you need to have enough springs. So you're going to need at least 4 springs. I only had 3. So that happens sometimes, but the wing, you know, you have connection here, 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 and here. And that wing, I mean, there's a small amount of play, but it's not going to come apart, okay? And I have seen this plane fly many, many times without the wing or the wing wires. So it would have added to the scale fidelity of it, and it will stiffen the wings a little bit. I'll give you that. It will stiffen the wings. But I don't plan on doing a bunch of snap rolls and a bunch of aerobacks with this plane. Let's just go ahead and go over a few things. I went ahead, I know normally I like to go over my rates and everything at the field, but it's a simple plane, simple 4-channel. I got 100% throws, 30% expo on my ailerons, 100% throws, 30% expo on the elevator, and 100% throws, 30% expo on the rudder. Okay. I did put an FMS pilot in there because that's just what I had on hand, and I gave her a clear coat. It's a good looking plane. All the decals are on according to the instructions, and yeah, it's not going to be a very fast plane. It's going to be just something just to cruise around, but I do like this yellow color. I think it's going to show up real well. Now, the thing about Dynam planes is they're not super fast. They're very easy on the batteries because they use very low kV motors. I think this has a 900 kV, but
motor is on. Don't get cut.
So, like I said, I got my hand behind the prop, and you just put the instrumentation on the cockpit. They're just stickers that go in. You glue on your little windshields. CG. I've got a 2600 high velocity or high packing, or wow, I don't know. I can't talk tonight. In there, I got all the way forward. CG is 115 to 120 millimeters back from the leading edge of the top of the wing here. Okay, the very top of the wing, 100 millimeters back. So it actually puts it at this back vein there, cabane there, or whatever it's called, the structure that holds the wing on, and the CG's perfect right there. Okay, CG's just perfect right there. All right, 115 to 120. Just put your fingers right back there, put your battery there, and she should CG just fine. All righty. Now the next thing to do is just take this bad boy up and do some nice slow flight with it. Something different. I mean, I'm always doing jets and something fast, but not this time. And don't forget, Anthony, thank you so much for the FPV Builds plane stand that I went over in the unboxing. This is I used it to put this plane together. It's very simple. I think these things are $29 or $39, and just a nice handy little plane stand. All right, folks, well, thank you so much. That is the post-build wrap-up. And like I say, there's really not much to pay attention to other than you need to test fit everything first. You know, really lay out your plans. I highly suggest if you're going to use the wires, have someone else to help you, because someone's got to hold the wire in while you make the connection to pull them tight. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. Don't forget, faith, family, and friends. Dynam Tiger Moss, FPV Builds. Thank you so much for giving me a big discount so I can do a review on the plane. God bless y'all, and y'all have a good one. Don't forget, faith, family, and friends, the Tiger Moss. Bye-bye.